this effing go. Hell no, what you talking about? Hell no, he has got your mouth. She said so long, all these things you said I would never be. Cutting it down, shoving around, in the end we'll see. You know how long it took me to learn to rock and roll. You think I'm just gonna let this effing go? Hell no, what you talking about? Hell no, he has out your mouth. She said so long, what you talking about? Hell no, he has out your mouth. She said so long, you were wrong, I was strong. You can't take this away from me. You were wrong, I was strong. You can't take this away from me. Why is it taking? I've been waiting. I've been drinking while I'm thinking. Why is it taking? I've been waiting. I've been drinking while I'm thinking. I'm done, you won, they're right, I was wrong. No success, I'm a mess. How do you write songs? They know how long it took me to learn to rock and roll. They think I'm just gonna let this effing go. Hell no, what you talking about? Hell no, he has out your mouth. She said so long, what you talking about? Hell no, he has out your mouth. She said so long, you were wrong, I was strong. You can't take this away from me. You were wrong, I was strong. You can't take this away from me. You were wrong, I was strong. You can't take this away from me. You were wrong, I was strong. You can't take this away from me. Why is it taking? I've been waiting. I've been drinking while I'm thinking. Why is it taking? I've been waiting. I've been drinking while I'm thinking.
Cruising on down the boulevard, gonna let my free flag fly. Rolling Stones on a track in my dad's Cadillac as the hippies all grew by. 10, 9, 8, 73. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 73. Platform shoes swept down the avenue in the city under neon lights. So we danced and we sang with the tambourine man. Can you dig it's out of sight? 10, 9, 8, 73. Bell-bottom jeans, just 17. Yeah, we were green, but we were making the scene. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Houses of the holy, dark side of the moon. Waves of blue grandeur, the heavens would croon. Gods had the hammer, axes would scream, enticing masses into a dream. But they were dropping bombs over in Vietnam while we were changing the world, singing our songs. You are revolution, that kind of You gotta remember to feed your head. Take me back to 73. 73. We're going back to 73. Going back. God came 73. Come on. 73. 73. 73. Going back now. 70. God came 73.
Reed Effect 1973. I love the art on that one. It's great. Kill Cody, So Long. We got the Intoxicables with Camerata Soul. It's close. I'm going to get close. It doesn't matter. The song totally kicks ass. It's not even in English. Doesn't matter. It's totally fucking awesome rock and roll.
Fuck it.
And then Lee Christian, our buddy, who we're going to come on and guest host eventually here, The Social Distance. Check them out.
to the new Democratic Republic of Pandamoria. We hope that you enjoy your visit. Please take care when stepping off the craft and mind the gap. Use the handrail if necessary. We ask you to respect the rules. Wear a face covering at all times. Sanitize whenever possible at stations provided. And of course, please do remember to social distance.
Lee Christian, the social distance intoxicables with Camaranda Soul. Because that's how they say if you can't get it, to just slow down.
Well, you did it.
I bet you I did say it right because I slowed down and I enunciated.
Camaranda
hard.
Soul. You did it.
That actually sounded cool the way I said it. Now that you're saying it like that, it sounded it almost sounded as stoned as I am.
There it is. I just
But it
mimicked
isn't.
you like a parrot.
Plus,
That's what
I
just
can
did.
understand other languages better when I'm fucking stoned.
Yeah, that's why drugs were kind of brought in to
Sure.
like for empathy reasons.
Fuck yeah.
Like
Makes total
empathy
sense.
for your soul, empathy for other people. It's like drugs are a great thing. Let's just be real.
I know. It's just you got to what some of them are and some of them aren't. Just like everything else, just like food, just like plants.
That's true.
Some of them are good for you. Some like everything is like that.
Yeah, everything is
know?
a drug if you really think about it. You can
Like-
get addicted to anything.
Everybody's on something.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who doesn't take anything. And I mean like recreational drugs, alcohol,
Yeah.
or actually if they're not doing those things, they're usually like on something like an everyday thing that they need to take for like mental health or whatever. So like everybody seems to be on something. I think.
Pharmaceuticals, right. Yeah, everything at this point, it's
Prescribed or non-prescribed is all I'm saying. Somebody, if you like when you're out there in the world and you're like, oh, that person's being a dick. Sure, they might actually be a dick. There's no doubt that is pretty, but they also might be on something.
Yeah.
That's altering them and making them a little edgier than they want to be, or a little less aware. Like, a lot of stuff makes you very dull. So you got to watch it.
That's true. If
Just
you're,
saying.
Yeah.
I think if everybody's on something, then, maybe everybody's not as big of a dicks as we think.
Yeah. Some things, I mean, dull could just be like quiet and thinking. That's why I get so paranoid on marijuana. It's because I think everyone thinks I'm just a fucking boring piece of shit. And then I'm sitting there and then like, am I being judged? That's what goes through my head. But also
that's very common.
It's because they're fucking high and they're just thinking and having a good time in their head. Everyone just needs to like, just have a good time in their head. Because
That is
there's a
very
lot of
common
people,
what you said though, because that's happened to me before too, where like something that I wouldn't even think about, like I'll overthink it if I'm stoned.
Yeah, totally.
Like I literally, I just have to, you got to understand, like you always have to remember that like when you're drinking, when you're on pot or we're just going to say those ones because those are the ones that you and I do. So like it's not the best time to make decisions.
Terrible time.
So like don't.
Yeah, just chill the fuck out.
Like literally, unless you're like cutting carrots and you chop the fucking tip of your finger off, just don't.
Yeah.
Don't make any decisions. You got to book a flight. Don't do it when you're intoxicated.
Don't do it. If you're 2 bottles in, do not use a knife and don't use a Travelocity app.
No, just keep it calm.
Booking.no.
Like you should make a list for yourself of the things that you can accomplish whilst intoxicated.
That's
like,
a good idea.
You know what I'm really good at when I'm super baked? It's putting together fucking furniture. That's a good one. I'm not as good at it when I'm regular me. I'm just get way too frustrated.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Hey, marijuana. Thank you.
Yeah. It's just, you gotta know your strengths and weaknesses. We're up to Big Jim's wild card, dude.
Oh, you ready?
Yeah, do it. It's new and improved. Do more. Like give it some, don't stop it. That's better. It's not super loud.
It's not.
We'll fix it in post.
Okay.
I like
How
it.
about I'll still do it.
Okay, but for now it's a hybrid because I think you got to hit it harder. But you don't have to do it right now.
It's just, it's my drummer's drum set. I feel weird doing it.
All right. So
I feel weird.
This is a great track. It's called Coin Toss. We know we're going to say the name wrong probably, but that's fine. That's the theme. This show is me saying names wrong or not. I don't even know. I'm guessing that I'm saying it wrong. Half the time, I bet you if I just said it, I'd be saying it right. At least 50%.
At least. No, you're fine, dude. You got this.
Dr. SOUC. Sook or soak.
It could be sauce.
It could be.
Yeah. If they're not giving us the dictionary
What's that called? Phonetical
breakdown. Yeah. If they're not giving, then we're just gonna guess.
We'll get a
your
voicemail
shit.
from them. But either way, they're Big Jim's wild card. And I spelled it for you. You can look them up. Great stuff. Very it's got that beat poetry vibe to it. The song is Coin Toss, and it is Big Jim's wild card for episode 338.
What's the cost? I'll pay it all. You work tonight, take it off. Let's get lost, think glance up at the stars. Forget who we are, we can go anywhere. Nowhere's too far. Take our time, but don't hesitate. A glimpse of magic can take your breath away. I die to get into heaven's gates, but I know a better place where miracles are no mistake. We chase a lot just to see the day fade away into a night shade. A different state of mind take shape. Only if I could find my way and pray for a change. But you gotta be a man of your word and do what you say. I made a promise, so I'll keep the faith. Don't let your life be determined of problems of yesterday. That's what I heard my father say, and now I'm self-guided on which road I take. Take chances to change the fate for your own sake. Show up, why not? Take chances, coin toss, money, hit the lotto, cash, head nod, I'm out, one shot, time to shine, put your lighters up. Do it right. All you need is love. Waited my whole life since I was young. Give you all I got, and it weighs a ton. I need a shoulder rub, almost got jumped. Now I need the double dutch. I trust in God, cause he's got the Midas touch. Thank God that we did it. I knew that we could. Gotta save my fam, gotta feed the hood. Word around town is I did good. Only spit the truth, so the real consume. Gotta make some power moves, so I can never lose. Know the rain's coming soon. I'm not gonna sing the blues like I used to do. I'm better now, put me in a good mood. Got it figured out like a Rubik's Cube. I don't have to break the rules just to prove that I'm cool. I paid my dues, got the dirt off my shoes. Now I got the juice. Show up, why not? Take chances, coin toss, money, hit the lotto, head nod, I'm out, the one in charge, the one in charge, I'm now, the one in charge, the one in charge, oh yeah.
Dr. Soup. It's one of them.
Dr. Souk.
Coin toss. Big Jim's wild card. Matt's got the acoustic out,
Wow,
which
that's
is
out of
cool
tune.
because actually the last song on the set list is Coastal Fire Department's What I Do acoustic.
See, acoustic guitars come in handy. Thank you,
Yeah.
Coastal Fire Department.
They do. And I don't think there's ever been a time ever where I haven't enjoyed I'm not saying I've enjoyed it more, but I haven't enjoyed an acoustic cover or an acoustic version of a popular song.
Amen. It's hard to
Always
find.
great.
hard
Always
to
great
find.
to hear the stuff stripped down.
Because the second you play a guitar that's an acoustic guitar and it's out of tune, you can tell. and you're going to stop playing it, or you're going to tune it. A whole band could be ready to play. They could be the best band in the world. If someone's fucking guitar is out of tune, shit sounds like crap. That's it. So it's good. It's great. Usually, if you're fucking confident enough to show up with an acoustic guitar, you're gonna probably play it right, because you're not gonna be out of tune.
I gotcha.
You know,
I gotcha. Sure, because you look like shit.
you're one guy,
You
one
embarrass
human, one
yourself
woman.
in front of all the people you're trying to impress with your acoustic.
Yeah, it's nerve wracking. I say.
Yeah. Yep. Secondhand arms dealer, living, anitasqueeze, throw me a line, and Jane Lee Hooker with Drive. Right now, we're episode 338.
Giving up, I'm your ghost, the one that I thought I needed most. It's like a wall, used like a crutch. I guess I just lean too much. Now I'm giving. I'm giving it up. Yeah, I'm giving. I'm living it up. Yeah, I'm living. I'm giving it up. Yeah, I'm giving. I'm living it up. I'm living. Now this time it's been out of sight. I've got the means, but can't seem to get it right. I'm looking low, oh, I'm feeling high. I climbed the walls, someone had to try. Someone had to try. Someone had to try. Yeah! I'm giving it up. I'm giving. I'm living it up. Yeah, I'm living. I'm giving it up. I'm giving. I'm living it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that I could see you, my friend. It's been too long, it's been hard. Oh, I really wish that I could get in my car and drive to you, and then drive away with you. I've been hurting, I've been low. Oh, I really wish that we could just get up and go. Maybe someday, maybe soon. Know that when I get the chance, oh, the first thing that I'll do is drive to you, and then drive away with you. Up the mountain, then back down again. Zigzagging through the valley, I'll be coming round that bend. Maybe someday, maybe soon. Oh, the moment that I can, oh, you know just what I do. I'm gonna drive straight to you. Oh, then we'll drive. Yeah, we'll drive. Yeah, we'll drive away. Come on, let's drive away.
Jane Lee Hooker, Drive. Those guys are great. All these are great. I got this. I went. It's kind of a little bit of a more mellow rock vibe at the last tracks here. With anitasqueeze. They just released a new EP. They're going to be sending us new songs with Throw Me a Line, and then Secondhand Arms Dealer, one of our favorite band names, with Living. To wrap the set list up for episode 338, we got our friend Ben Wise in the Stars Tonight and Coastal Fire Department with What I Do, the acoustic version.
long ago that we had forever. Our faces were made of hope. We knew all we had to know. The nights had a brighter glow than all the days together. We kept the loosest hold. No, we didn't want control. Then came the days of change. Things got complicated. How do we all get played? They said and we took the bait. And something starts to weigh. And then we're inundated. Autonomy can be overrated. We've got a long, long way to go, but plenty of time. And things have been a bit tough, I know. Let's try and leave that behind. Give it a smile, it'll start to show. You're gonna be fine. And don't look down below. Be in the stars tonight. It seems such an even trade. Every rite of passage, slivers of innocence, given up bit by bit. With all of the great intent came every hardest lesson. Bit of a curse wrapped tight in a blessing. We've got a long, long way to go, but plenty of time. And things have been a bit tough, I know. Let's try and leave that behind. Give it a smile, it'll start to show. You're gonna be fine. And don't look down below. Be in the stars tonight. We've got a long, long way to go, but plenty of time. And things are better, better, I know. Come on, let's leave that behind. Give it a smile, it'll start to show. You're gonna be fine. And don't look down below. Be in the stars tonight.
I gave it all away. That's what I do. I let it go astray. That's what I do. What do I get out of this? Is this something real? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, what do I get out of this? Is this something real? I don't know. I don't know.
up my guts today. That's what I do. What do I get out of this? Is this something real? I don't know. I don't know.
Hey now, I'm a rock star.
Oh, did you just smash mouth that shit?
Just smashed my own mouth. Yeah.
You all starred me.
Yep. Did it.
It's interview time, brother.
Oh, it's better than smash mouth. It's an
Yeah,
interview.
It's better than smash, but not a lot is though from the 90s. I was listening to the pop of the 90s, and man,
Yeah, it's hard.
Fingers.
It's hard to beat.
All right, we got Adrian is here from Fight the Sun.
Hello, how are you?
You guys never opened for Smash Mouth, I hope.
No, it's a shame. Shame that, you know, it's definitely at the top of the list or close to the top of the list.
I actually, my friend Steve, he passed away, but he took me to a concert. It was one of those, I don't know if you remember back in the day, they had Marlboro Miles. And if you got it, clipped a bunch of pieces off of Marlboro cigarette packages, if you collect enough, and Adrian, it was a lot, then you could go to a concert for free.
Yeah.
And he's like, Dio, you want to go to Smash Mouth? And I'm like, for free? Oh, yeah. And the lead singer just got so shitbagged on Jägermeister. He just had a fifth of Jägermeister on stage and he was hammering it. He couldn't even walk up the bus stairs. It was an absolute mess. I loved it.
Oh, God.
I loved every rock and roll minute of it, Adrian. Every rock and roll minute.
Oh, man.
How's it going, brother?
Yeah, really good. Really good. Yeah, just that obviously for us, or for me, it's just a little after 7 a.m. So just sort of waking up, and so you'll have to forgive me if, you know, I'm a slow takeoff for me. I'll get there. I'll get there.
It's the artist's way.
I do have my coffee, so
you got you double, triple express. You had to throw it in there.
Pretty much. Yeah.
It'll get you going. Coffee is rock and roll. It should be in there with sex, drugs, and coffee and rock and roll.
Yeah.
Who do you know that's in the music business that doesn't drink coffee?
I really can't think of anyone, and if they don't, then they should really reconsider their.
And if they,
and
even if they're doing drugs, they still drink coffee.
And what's that thing from what's that famous line from Spinal Tap at the end? If something to do, if I get the sex and the drugs, I can do without the rock and roll, or something like that. Yeah. So this is the coffee. So, you know, for me, it's if I get the coffee, I can do without the rock and roll.
Seriously. So you got, all right, we're going to do a thing. Let me see. Do I want to talk about this first? Because I like to, my favorite track by you guys, and I wrote down, because Carnival's the newest one, right?
That's correct. Correct.
So we'll play that after the interview.
Cool.
So and then, because then we can talk about it if you want to. But my favorite, Goodbye Gravity.
Really?
I dig that one.
You're old school.
I do dig that one. Yeah, I went back into all of them. Now, Carnival, I liked the how you're doing the lyrics. in that song a lot. The singing style is really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, well, it's really interesting because if I played you the original version of that, it sounds a lot more like a really kind of more 70s, almost like a David Bowie type of song. And it's sort of that beat, that sort of glam rock sort of, that sort of swing kind of thing, if you know that era of music at all. And yeah,
I do.
But that's how it ended up. Yeah, it's a lot sort of heavier and a lot quicker as well. It was a fair bit slower. It started off a fair bit slower. So, but yeah, I think that the way that the vocal delivery was just really kind of to match the I guess the vibe of the song. You know what I mean? Because like I said, it ended up being very different to what it was originally, the original concept, so to speak. So,
but I really dig it. Because I go
cool.
through, you got to go through everything, right? Because I want to hear, because you guys have been doing music for a while. Like you got a lot of videos, a lot of content, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I like to hear the whole progression of where, like how it, like you said, like you were just saying, there's some songs that have more of a 70s type groove. And then there's heavier ones. So it's great as a listener because you get the band, but you get different versions of the band.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, it's that classic thing that most people already talk about. It's just a mix of everything. We listen to just everything. Like you'd be surprised, maybe you wouldn't be surprised if we told you what we all listen to, and it's just trying to find a way of getting all those little pieces in there, So
let's do a thing right now. Speaking of that I love to do because I know I have mine. First record you ever bought, complete record, first tape, and first CD
that I bought or
that you bought with your own,
with
either your
my own
parents' money or your money. Like,
okay.
You consciously were like, I got to get that ET song because I did buy John Williams' ET song once. My first was Eye of the Tiger. That was the first record single. The first record, I don't even remember. What was mine? I'm trying to think to give you time. You got yours?
I think the first tape, I'm pretty certain, and I'm not just trying to, ramp up the rock and roll credibility here.
No, not at all. It's just what it is.
I'm pretty I could be wrong, but I'm 90% certain it was Let There Be Rock. AC/DC.
Oh, that's a good one.
It was my first tape. And I remember it was my mum. It was my mum bought it for me. We used to go shopping pretty certain it was every Saturday morning, to do the grocery shopping and and whatever. And where we were, the mall that we were at, there was a music store there. And I walked in and I already liked AC/DC. It's just, I think it's un-Australian not to.
I think so, yeah.
They revoke your citizenship if you don't. And yeah, I just remember seeing it. And see, the thing you got to remember though, the Australian version had a different cover. The original Australian version. I don't know if you've seen this.
No, I got to look it up.
Yeah. Google it. It's basically a picture of a guitar neck and hands. And it's like the hands are sort of blurry, like it's like a motion, like a, whatever you want to call it. My brain can't think of it in the morning, but it's the hands on a fretboard of the guitar. And I remember seeing the tape, and I'd heard AC/DC. I knew what they were about, but I hadn't heard everything. And I remember seeing the tape, and I went, "Wow, look at that! Look at that picture of the." Because I hadn't started playing guitar yet, I don't think, but I wanted to. So that was the first tape.
Literally, my favorite rock band is AC/DC.
100%, yeah.
Just because people always talk about rock and roll, and I don't think there is a more pure rock and roll band in the history of rock and roll. AC/DC is it. If I had to tell aliens what rock and roll was, I'd give them AC/DC. It's bluesy and it punches you right squaw in the mush.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more.
Like I said to my friend, AC/DC sounds like the opening of a beer. Because they're just absolute rippers. I love them.
Yeah. No, it's just so ingrained, and I guess being Australian as well, it's just so ingrained in our culture. I'm trying to think of an American, an equivalent, and I don't know. It's probably like, maybe that's not exactly the same, but I was going to say like Bruce Springsteen or something. Like it's just part of the culture. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was, boy, when Springsteen was going, man, he was like,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that was all the 80s and everything
Yeah,
with the Russia and the Cold War and Born in the USA. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
Rocky 3, come on.
Yeah.
Outrageous. Or Rocky 4.
Yeah.
It was so America. It was, I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, look, you know, he actually, you know, he's more like, I don't know if you've ever heard of it as an Australian artist called Jimmy Barnes.
Yep.
He was in a band called Cold Chisel. And I think that's probably more our Springsteen, but not
Yeah,
quite.
yeah.
You know, what he wrote about was probably a little bit more straight ahead rock and roll sort of stuff. Where
I
obviously
mean, our
yeah.
AC/DC would almost be more like one of the grunge bands
yeah.
from the 90s, because everything from the 70s was so melodic and like groovy. There's no other way to describe it. And then like the 90s was grunge, which AC/DC, not grungy sounding, but definitely grungy dudes. They got the vibe.
Look, and you can't tell me that a lot of those bands, you know, if you speak to the guys like Alice in Chains and all those sort of guys, it's one of their favorite bands as well. So
you could tell Man in a Box, like that riff, like that's like AC/DC style. We're gonna come, we're gonna pull up, we're gonna be going 100, we're gonna slam on the brakes, we're gonna jump out, slap you in the face, get back in the car and take off. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's rock and roll.
It is.
Maybe they leave you a smoke. I don't know.
No.
Probably not.
They leave a pack of smokes, and if it's Angus, it's a cup of tea.
Yeah, seriously. And he's still going.
I know.
All right, vinyl. What was your first vinyl? Do you remember? I think mine might have been David Lee Roth's album, Hot in the Sun or something. It really is. I'm not that proud of that one with California Girl and everything on
it. Yeah. I think I know the one. Geez, God, I should have come prepared for this.
It's not that easy.
No, it's not, because if I go have a look at all my vinyl, I've got everything. I've kept everything. I've lost a couple of things over the years, but for the most part, I've kept everything. And I'm pretty certain, and I'm pretty certain it was an Iron Maiden record, and I'm pretty confident it's either Killers or Number of the Beast. I could have got them around about the same time. I could have even got them. Yeah. It's either one of those two, I'd have to say.
Those covers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Again, as a kid, you know, it would have been, I don't know, 10 years old or 11 or whatever, something like that. It would have been pretty young. I didn't have the record player. My dad had the record player.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, again, so those covers, you just looked at them and you went, whoa, what's that? You know, like
you drawn to them like a moth to a flame. Like, I mean, really, I would just go straight back to the heavy metal section and start going through and having my mind blown by how they were incorporating like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff into it, almost fantasy elements.
Oh, that artwork. I remember, you know, it would have been a little while later, but I remember getting the Somewhere in Time on vinyl as well. And that album cover, you could sit there for hours, like all the little things, like all the little references. Yeah, I mean, you know, they cover obviously, but you know, that cityscape, that futuristic cityscape, and it's got all the little Iron Maiden references in the back.
It's so cool.
I literally sit there and every time I pick it up, I'd see something new. Like, oh wow, look at that, you know.
They probably love that. They probably would love. They're probably like, oh man, that's exactly what we wanted to do, because it was different when those albums came out. That's what you would do. You'd look at it while you were listening, you know. Now they're actually releasing vinyl again, which is nice. Like bands are, so at least kids might get to experience that.
Well, what's the statistic? Was it last year or the year before? Where it was like obviously a recent year where they were saying that vinyl has outsold everything else.
Good.
You know, and it's fantastic. And what people don't realize, this is only something I learned the other day, is I remember when I was a kid and it went from, you know, there's that transition from vinyl to CD, and everyone's going, oh, CD's better, blah, 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 and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. But what they don't realize is, I remember all these kids at school, you know, oh, why you still got vinyl and why aren't you buying CDs? Which I eventually did, like everyone else. But this is a music nerd fact, just for a second. Apparently, in the late 70s, the quality of vinyl manufacturing just went through the floor. Like it was just, I don't know, it was something to do with the shortage of the materials. And so a lot of the vinyl from that era, from the late 70s, early 80s, sounded worse than the sound quality wasn't as good as it from earlier in the decade.
Sure.
And so by the time the CDs came along, people, let's put a CD on, put the vinyl on, and went, yeah, CDs sound better. Yeah. But if you actually go back, if you find an older vinyl and still good condition from the mid 70s and earlier, the quality of audio quality is right up there. So there you go. There's your music nerd fact.
Love it, because most of the people who listen to the show are artists. The artists listen to the show. So all right. So what was the first CD you got when you had to break down and actually get one?
I'm looking over at my CDs as I'm.
I know you're gonna get. I'll say mine. Mine was Eddie Money's Greatest Hits.
Eddie Money. Okay.
That was the first one I ever got.
I think I know of Eddie Money, but he wasn't that big here. So
he was he was like a rock and roll crooner.
Yeah. Okay. I know the name, and I remember reading. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but he passed away recently, didn't he? I remember reading something somewhere.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah. God, I want to say.
Now I might be wrong on mine. I say that, but I remember I got it for Christmas one year, and I think there was a stack of them. So it's not like if you came back in a year, Adrian, and you were like, "Hey, remember what I said about that CD? That was bullshit." You can retract.
We could be here till mid.
You also prefaced it. You also prefaced it with the 7 a.m. and the cup of coffee. So you're all good.
Okay, that's my pass. That's my pass.
Yeah,
I'm pretty confident. Again, I'm going to go back to AC/DC. I'm pretty certain it was Highway to Hell. Pretty certain. It's either that or I think I might have bought a Guns N' Roses single. It's one or the other, and it would have been around the Use Your Illusion time. Yeah.
Could have been You Could Be Mine. I remember how huge that track was.
I think you could be right. I could be
because I bought that single. Yeah. I remember buying that because it just came out as this. Didn't it came out before Use Your Illusion 1 or 2? So you had a choice, and it came out with Terminator 2.
I'm pretty certain you're right. Yeah.
And it was a ripper. What a great track, man. The drums in that.
Yeah. It was Matt Sorum. Everyone loves, I think, Stephen Adler. More from a nostalgic perspective, I think. And don't get me wrong, Use Your Illusion. Appetite for Destruction.
Great.
It's just a masterpiece. We can't deny that. But that Sorum's great.
I think Highway to Hell is probably one of the top 5 greatest complete rock and roll albums.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely top to bottom. You can play it straight through.
Well, it's the holy trinity of rock, and it depends on which side of the fence you lean on, whether you're a Bond person or a Brian person. But it's either Let There Be Rock, Power Age, and Highway to Hell, the 3 in the row, or it's Power Age, Highway to Hell, and Back in Black. If you sort of
because Back in Black is so kick-ass. It's so kick-ass, and Brian Johnson's amazing. But Bon Scott, I'm a short dude. Bon Scott, man, he looked like he just could eat nails and spit bullets, man. That motherfucker looked tough.
See, I could sort of pull out the bragging rights here and talk about my family connection to Bon Scott, but I don't know if I will. I don't want to be that person, you know what I mean? So
you absolutely can.
Well, when I say family connection, my dad's a bass player, and my dad's of a similar age to Bon. And before Bon joined AC/DC, he lived in Adelaide here in Australia. That's where I was born and where my family's from originally. And Bon, he was sort of between bands. I don't know how deep you know his story or not, but he'd left this band called Fraternity, who had been in England and tried to make it, and he'd come back and he was sort of down in his luck, working a day job, and occasionally he would do sessions, you know, for sort of. They were doing a session for. I think Dad said it was like some sort of shopping mall. It was like an opening or something like that. So they're making the ad for it, they're making the TV ad for it. And so they'd hired Bond. My dad was a bass player. Obviously, they had the band and hired Bond to come in and sing the vocal on it. So, and apparently he'd walked in and bottle of Jack in one hand, came in and walked up to the drummer on the session and gone, "You don't know what you're doing," and like kicked him off the drum kit. And I'll play the drums on this. So he played the drums on. I don't ask me what the shopping centre was. I think it's long gone. I think it's been demolished since. But yeah, so he played the drums on the session and he did the vocals. And that was the first time. I think it was the first time my dad had met him. But because Adelaide's a relatively small town, all the musicians know each other, and so he got to know him a little bit. And I wouldn't say they're best mates or anything like that, best friends, but yeah, that was his one sort of overriding memory of him sort of waltzing into the recording session. And
it's good to hear when they are when performers are what you think they are.
Yeah,
they just seemed like a rad dude. He had his booze, he's taking care of his business. You weren't good enough, get out of the way. That's how the music sounded.
Yeah. I mean, and it could be a slight exaggeration. My dad is prone to that, but yeah, he said he was, you know, not that they were the best friends or anything, but they were sort of acquaintances.
Right.
They were acquaintances, and he was a lovely guy. You know, all the stories, all that part of the myth is
and a hell of a performer.
Yeah.
Like really theatrical.
Yeah.
Like really theatrical.
Yeah.
He never gets credit at that because he passed away so long ago. But I mean, like he was out there doing all the moves and everything, straight Jagger moves.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, like it's just such a unique. It just had an aura. You know what I mean? Had an aura. Yeah.
So we're playing Carnival after the interview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
do you want to tell us a story about Carnival? You don't have to. Do you have one? I mean, it's up to you.
Oh, yeah, I could tell you. I don't know if it's much of a story though. I mean, like I said, I touched on earlier on. Like it started off being very much more of a. It's almost had like a. I was really just mucking around. I had got some newer recording equipment, and I was just mucking around with sounds, and I had all these new drum sounds. So it started life as more of a very kind of glam rock, David Bowie era. Almost a little bit like, I don't want to mention this person's name because he's turned out to be a horrendous person since, but you know, there was a very famous glam rock song, glitter rock song. That's all I'll say.
Yes.
I think he could, yeah. Anyway, it sounded a bit like that. It sounded like that person's big hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it had that sort of sound to it. And I was just mucking around. I had like some keyboards on there and like these synth downs. And I thought, you know, and that's how it started. And so what we do when we write songs is we have a Dropbox folder and we just throw all these ideas in there. And I just threw it in there. I thought, the guys aren't going to like this, but I was put it in there along with 50 other ideas. And it was like and then what we do, it sounds very nerdy and mathematic, but we get an Excel spreadsheet and then we write all the songs down and we rank them, you know, out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, all that sort of stuff. And we do that with our producer as well, the guy who produced it, John. The four of us get together and we do that. And that's how it kind of, and they all came back, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. You know, nothing ever gets a 10 out of 10. And I'm like, really? That one? So anyway, we got into the rehearsal studio and we sped up the tempo a little bit, and the lyrics. I'm very notorious, I guess. When I say notorious, I guess within the band, for waiting to the very last minute to finish lyrics and I don't like doing that. It's the number one thing. I like making up melodies, but I hate lyrics. I hate doing lyrics. It's just when I say hate, it's just because it's not as enjoyable as the other part. It doesn't come as easy. It doesn't come as easy. And what I tend to do is I'll just write pages and pages of things that could potentially be lyrics, and then it's trying to figure out what it is. So anyway, that's kind of the story. It's not, I guess, not that interesting, but it's so yeah. Started off life very differently. It became more of a sort of a lot heavier guitars, There's still a little bit of keyboards in the middle section there, like little atmospheric sort of things, and it's funny. A couple of people have said recently it sounds a little bit like Muse, which I found. Yeah, it's like okay, yeah, which I'm definitely a fan of, but not to the extent where it was obvious to.
Honestly, a bit maybe. I think if you, it's heavier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They've got some pretty heavy guitars there, though, man. Like
But it seems like with Muse, it's like this is more. I don't know. Sometimes Muse has too much going on. I like them though, but sometimes you got too. This doesn't have too much going on. It's nice and clean. Like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. They put a lot of more electronic sort of stuff in there as well, and a lot of sort of atmospheric background, which is cool. But I understand what you mean.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, too, because I don't write music, so when I say stuff, sometimes it's purely from consumer / curator / whatever of music that I am. I like to. I just have a really good ear for music. I really have. I just always have. But like, that's so cool. That's why I like to say stuff like that. Like because your reaction is what's going to get the actual, like you're getting what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then you're opening it like a coconut and having some delicious coconut milk. That's what it is. My metaphors are on point. Is that a metaphor?
Great.
I think it is.
There's no way back, pioneer, headed to a new frontier. Evolution's what you fear. The centerpiece of a crown, you build it up and down. Now it's a push and a shove. And let the fire go, let it burn to the ground. And talking to myself and there's no one around. It's just an urge in me. And I give it everything. You manifest a mirage. When you're in doubt, sabotage. You disappear, you're erased. And they were down to my grave without a chance to be saved. It's not a lie, just a fact. And let the fire go, let it burn to the ground. And talking to myself when there's no one around. It's just an urge in me. I give it everything. It's just an urge in me. I give it everything. It's just an urge in me. I give it everything. It's just an urge in me. I give it everything.
We got something we got to talk about. Vegan food, dude. How you feeling about it?
I like it. I like it sometimes. It depends on who makes it. Every time I've had someone who's vegan, make it, they know specifically what to do. So I
Right.
trust them. So
Me too.
yeah.
Everything I've ever had, I've loved. I even went to a one Thanksgiving. It was raw. Like they cooked raw food because the
Ooh.
husband had cancer and then he beat cancer by eating raw.
Nice.
You know, cook anything. It was so good. It just wasn't like it wasn't Thanksgiving dinner. Like it didn't feel that way. And that's where I'm going with this is that I love vegan food that I've tried. Everything I've tried, I've liked, but it never tastes like what the fuck they say. So stop saying that. Like, and here's my example. So I'm at the grocery store and I'm like, I try to like, you know, some of the days of the week, I like to get the vegan burgers, which I think are delicious. What's the brand?
Beyond
Is it Beyond? And then there's the other one, Not Meat or something.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Impossible and Beyond.
I think it's Beyond is the one I usually get. And they're delicious, but they don't taste like hamburgers. But I like to try to fit that in there with my dinners just to get meat out of there for 1 or 2 nights. Probably the same type of thing you do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get the burgers because there's only 2 of them. And next to them, they have the Beyond bratwurst. And I'm like, I love brat. A bratwurst with sauerkraut is just wrong. It's so good.
Me too. I love sauerkraut.
Oh, that combo, man. It is so good. That's some Renaissance fair shit right there. Dude.
Yeah, you're there. Birthday time.
Oh, yeah.
Did it for the birthday. Needed sauerkraut
So-
and hot dogs. That's all I wanted.
I'm like, I gotta try these things, right? And I make the burgers in the air fryer and they turn out perfectly crispy and everything. Use the air fryer. So I put one in there and I make it and it's right temperature, right everything. I do it just right like it says. Delicious. It was so good. It tasted fucking nothing like a bratwurst.
Nothing like what they say. You're right. It doesn't taste like it, right?
It tasted more like falafel.
Yeah. Yep.
In the length of a bratwurst. Like they took falafel and smashed it, made it the length of a bratwurst. And they used the casing. I thought this was pretty cool. Is like algae.
You really?
So it kind of has that, but it's good. It kind of has that
Oh.
crispiness to it. My point is, once again, knocked it out of the park with the flavor, but completely not what I thought I was getting.
Yeah.
It did not taste like a bratwurst. You cannot sit those next to each other and say that's anywhere near it. It's the size of a bratwurst, but it tasted like falafel, which I love. So it worked out. Like next time I make one, I'm going to get some of that cucumber sauce. What's that shit called? The falafel sauce.
It's usually tzatziki.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm going to put that on top of it.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Because I used spicy mustard. Not spicy, Dijon, like hot mustard. And it was so good because I was like, what would be good on falafel? But next time I'm going to try the cucumber sauce.
That stuff is good. I mean,
po-
like, if anything has any type of cumin on it, if you have a cumin, the seasoning, it's going to taste good with cucumber sauce.
So I
Like
guess the
tzatziki.
point is, it doesn't taste like what you say. And I don't know how you can remedy that, but I feel like it's false advertising when you're telling me it's a bratwurst, but it tastes like falafel ball.
Yeah, I had someone barbecue. No, exactly. Someone barbecued me a burger once. Like we were camping. They're like, let's do some vegan food. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, really? Fuck me. That's fucking terrible. Awful idea. One of the best burgers I've ever had because they paid attention and she like really, really made it taste like meat. So I was like, all right, you win. All right.
Now, I also, maybe I should get some tips from some vegs on spices to put on top of it to make it taste more like meat. Because I bet you that is what they do.
My
Like there's a
band
way
member-
to trick my palate.
Yeah. My band member did pork pastor seasoning on jackfruit. And I watched him chop jackfruit and tastes like a fucking like a pork El
No
Pastor
shit.
taco. It was good. It was really good. That was the only time I was like, all right, vegans win.
You
I
slow clap the vegans.
I slow clap the vegans.
Nice. Standing O. I love it.
Cigaretteless and all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Full commitment.
Full commit.
That's great, dude. So I guess what I'm saying is, and I know most people are probably like, Tully, we already tried, we fucking tried that shit years ago. Yeah, well, everybody hasn't. So if you haven't, just know this. It's very good. It's a good, I think it's pretty high in sodium and everything, but it's good to, kind of stay off the meat.
That's
Just
the thing,
try a little
man.
something sideways.
That's the fucking PSA. Don't be fucking tricked. It's still full of fucking bad shit for you.
Oh yeah, well that's
All right.
true too. Yeah. Oh my God, they're not. I just think it's good to stay off the meat for a while. I wouldn't eat those every night. They're too full of sodium. Whereas
It's so salty. Yeah.
Whereas like the if I got like pre-made hamburgers, they don't have any salt in them.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank
So
you.
like, you got to be careful. But I do think it's good. Like if you're a big red meat eater, have a couple of those and just know they're not going to taste like red meat, but they do taste good.
Yeah. Just make up a word for what it tastes like next time. Thanks, vegans.
Like those are really like for me, those are falafel sausage.
They should just call it sausage.
Seriously,
Yeah.
a version of that.
Sausage.
It's getting good now.
Yeah.
No, but I'm serious. That would be, I would still have bought them and I would have taken my first bite and been like, that's exactly what it tastes like. A falafel sausage. But still try them. It's good. It's good. It just does not taste like.
Just eat everything, then judge. Don't talk shit about something.
But because I just can imagine people being disappointed when they're like not a bratwurst.
Exactly. But it also like when people eat portobello mushroom burgers and they're like, that's not a burger. It's like, yeah, dick, it is. It's a mushroom burger.
Yeah.
We just
Right.
called it, you know what I mean? A burger is just a big, vast thing of meat on bread. That's what it is.
And it is a mushroom. It's mushroom meat.
Exactly. You can do a chicken burger, do a mushroom burger. You can do you name it. All right. We're not going to sit here and name it,
Enjoy it though.
Yeah. Have fun. Stop being a dick.
Just
Everyone.
Don't judge the meat and the veggies. Don't judge them. Try them, then judge them. We're
Exactly.
not saying you can't judge. We're just saying try it first.
Try them first and then judge. And then, you know what? They should get the name right. You're right. That's the point of the story. Get the fucking name right. Product makers.
That's it. Top fucking 10. Episode 338. Coming in at number 10, the God Bombs. Check out the God Bombs. Instagram. They're nuts. They're awesome.
It sounds scary, man.
They're absolutely craziness. It's always like them surrounded by a bazillion maniacs. I love it. Check them out. Entering at number 10, the God Bombs with Bad Man. Number 9 is Jack Mystery with Mascara. Number 8, Carly Jewel with Trouble We Are. Number 7, Bone Rust. Number 6, The Stolen Moans with Poo Num 2. Number 5 is Word 66 with Tonight is the Night. 4 is Crying Club, Bad Day to Be a Zebra. 3, Against the Sun with Undone. 2, Garlic Rooster, Paranoid Ambitions. And 1, Again, from Not to Again, The Psychos of Soul with Like You Used to. That is your top effing 10 for episode 338. You're listening to the Tully Dio Show. That's where you send tracks. If you would like us to play them on the show, you send them to the Tully Dio Show at Gmail. We are the Outlaws of Rock, and we're here every week playing you some kick-ass rock and roll and talking and pre-drinking with you and having a good time. I'm Tully Dio.
Meister Matt. Yeah, I'm taking it back.
Yep, I like it. And yeah, have a shot, a beer and a shot, beer and a shot, big beers, and cheers. Drink them up.
some of that heroin high where I get real numb and I touch the sky and I'm at it, I'm at it again. Give me some of that rock and roll where I rush real hard 'cause I lose my soul and I'm at it, I'm at it again. Trouble in me, trouble in you, trouble we are. Trouble in me, trouble in you, trouble we are. You and I living on the dangerous side. Trouble in me, trouble in you, trouble we are.
number one is done. It's not number one. It's done, it's done, it's done, it's done.
Rise and shine, departure time.
think it's too late to change or win this fight. It's time to make a choice, my friend, 'cause tonight is the night. You think it's too late to change or win this fight. It's time to make a choice, my friend, 'cause tonight is the night. Tonight is the night. Tonight is the night.
The zebra senses something's wrong. Looks over his back. All he sees is stripes of his old black and white, and a patch of tall grass swaying in the wind. He missed the lioness, obscured by grass he sees too late. When the zebra sees her, it's too late. She jumps out and he's on his back, and she's got his neck. In an open field he could have run, if not that thing kicked her away. But she was so wet she sealed herself fortune. He never even had a chance. He won't be running now. Throat tripped out inside of her mouth. A ruthless death for foolishness. A lesson taught while going on his head. Zebra approaches the lakeside, looking for shade in the bulb of trees. She sets herself up, this time amongst the clay. Patience perfected, breath outweighs. His ears are tingling now. What is coming can't be the wind, but he looks the wrong way. Opens a blind eye, condemns himself, submits his flesh for taste. Bad day to be a zebra. late.